What if someone told you there's a beach where the sand is purple, or shores where wild horses gallop through the waves? What about beaches that literally glow like stars at night? These aren't fantasy destinations. These are real beaches that exist right now. And the number one country? It has a type of beach so extraordinary, scientists didn't believe the photos were real. From pink sand that gets its color from microscopic organisms to beaches where penguins sunbathe next to humans, satellite imagery, traveler reports, and marine biologists helped compile the definitive ranking. But here's what nobody tells you. The best beaches aren't always tropical. Landing at number 10, Brazil brings 7,500 kilometers of coastline madness. But forget Copacabana, that's tourist territory. Fernando de Noronha has water so clear, visibility reaches 50 meters. That's like looking through air. Dolphins use the beaches as a daily commute route, every single morning. Here's what's insane. Jericoacoara sits where massive sand dunes meet the ocean. The sunset turns the entire landscape into another planet. Locals call it Jerry, and getting there requires driving through sand for hours. No roads, just sand, then suddenly, paradise. Spain shocks people. The beaches rival any tropical paradise, but with a twist. Some are in the north where it's actually cold. Playa de las Catedrales has rock formations that look like Gothic cathedrals. Natural arches, caves, and corridors carved by Atlantic waves. But timing matters. Visit at high tide and the beach disappears completely. The Balearic Islands? Water so blue it looks fake. Formentera's beaches beat the Caribbean in blind tests. Scientists discovered the secret. Posidonia seagrass filters the water like nature's own Brita filter. Greece, 6,000 islands, 16,000 kilometers of coastline. But here's the kicker. Some beaches have pink sand, others have black, and one has sand that's pure white marble pebbles. Navajo Beach, Shipwreck Beach, can't be reached by land. Only boats. A smuggler's ship crashed in 1980 and created the most photographed beach on Instagram. The limestone cliffs turn the water 3 different shades of blue. But here's what's wild. Santorini's red beach isn't dyed. The volcanic cliffs literally crumble into red sand. Swimming here feels like being on Mars, if Mars had perfect Mediterranean water. Thailand redefined tropical paradise. But beyond the famous spots lies something extraordinary. Railay Beach, accessible only by boat because 300-foot limestone cliffs cut it off from the mainland. Rock climbers scale the cliffs, then jump into the water. It's become a sport. Here's the mind-blower. The Similan Islands are only open 6 months a year. The government closes them to let nature recover. When they reopen, the beaches look like CGI. The sand is so white it hurts to look at without sunglasses. Maya Bay, where the beach was filmed, had to close for 4 years. When it reopened, baby sharks had returned. The beach literally healed itself. Mexico plays beach roulette with 4 different bodies of water: Pacific, Caribbean, Gulf, and Cortez. Each creates completely different beach experiences. Playa del Amor, Hidden Beach, is inside a crater. You swim through a tunnel to reach it. The government accidentally created it by bombing practice in the 1900s. Sometimes mistakes create perfection. But here's what's crazy. Cancun's beaches didn't exist 50 years ago. The government built them using computer models to create perfect sand accumulation. It worked so well, nature thinks it's natural. The Marietta Islands have beaches where humpback whales breach 50 meters from shore. That's not a boat tour, that's from the beach. The Philippines, 7,641 islands. More beaches than anyone could visit in a lifetime. But some beaches here break reality. Palawan's underground river beach leads to caves extending 8 kilometers inland. You beach your kayak and enter another world. Bats, prehistoric-looking monitor lizards, and rock formations older than human civilization. Here's what's wild. Siargao's Cloud9 creates perfect barrels so consistently, pro surfers set their calendars by it. The reef structure acts like a wave machine designed by nature. White Beach in Boracay? The sand stays cool even in brutal heat. Scientists discovered why, The sand is actually millions of crushed coral pieces that reflect heat instead of absorbing it. Seychelles, where beaches look like desktop wallpapers come to life. But these aren't edited. This is just Tuesday in Seychelles. Once source d'argent has granite boulders older than the dinosaurs. They're pink, the sand is white, the water is turquoise. It's like nature was showing off. But here's the kicker. Some beaches here have more giant tortoises than people. Aldabra Atoll has 150,000 giant tortoises and maybe 12 tourists on a busy day. The tortoises use the beaches as highways. The real secret? Seychelles beaches change personality with the monsoons. Same beach, two completely different experiences depending on the month. Indonesia. 17,000 islands across 3 time zones. Some beaches here don't even have names yet. Pink Beach in Komodo gets its color from red coral fragments mixing with white sand. Only 7 pink beaches exist on Earth. Indonesia has several. And oh yeah, dragons patrol them. Here's what's insane. Raja Ampat's beaches sit above 75% of the world's coral species. Snorkelers see more biodiversity here than most marine biologists see in their careers. From the beach. Without trying. The Gili Islands banned motors. No cars, no motorcycles, no exceptions. The beaches stay so quiet, you can hear fish jumping 100 meters offshore. Australia went overboard. 50,000 kilometers of coastline, 12,000 beaches, some still being discovered. Whitehaven Beach's sand is 98% pure silica. It doesn't retain heat, ever. Sprint across it at noon in summer, still cool. NASA wanted to use it for telescope lenses. Australia said no. But here's what breaks brains. Hyams Beach holds the Guinness record for whitest sand on Earth. It's so white, photographers have to underexpose shots or cameras think it's snow. Lucky Bay has kangaroos that sunbathe. Shell Beach is made of billions of tiny shells 10 meters deep, no sand at all. Australia decided normal beaches were boring and went creative. And yet, there's one country that took everything and added magic. The Maldives. 1,192 islands where the highest point is 2.4 meters. The entire country is basically a beach. But here's what earns number 1. Bioluminescent beaches. Phytoplankton create blue lights in the waves. Every step creates explosions of light. Swimming looks like moving through liquid starlight. The water visibility reaches 40 meters year-round. Fish swim through restaurant floors made of glass. Some resorts have underwater bedrooms. You sleep watching sharks and rays cruise past. Here's the mindbreaker. The Maldives creates new beaches, constantly. Currents deposit sand in new patterns annually. Resorts wake up to find new beaches that didn't exist yesterday. But the real reason Maldives wins? Every single beach could be number 1 somewhere else. The worst beach in Maldives would be the crown jewel in most countries. When perfection becomes ordinary, you've reached another level. Some islands are so small, you can throw a tennis ball across them, but each one has beaches that redefine what beaches can be. There it is. 10 countries where beaches transcend into art. Which one made your bucket list? Drop a comment below, and if this just planned your next vacation, hit subscribe.